After working with Ivy League graduates on over 5,000 essays, I'm going to be giving you the 3 biggest tips you can have on mistakes that people are making on a daily basis on their MBA drafts. I want this video to give you an edge such that when you actually go on and apply for your MBA admissions, you should have that edge, that spark that puts you apart from the rest of the applications, all right? And of course, your work experience, your GPA, things like that, you really can't change at this moment, but your essay is something that you can quickly turn around and you can really make it into one of the best essays out there if you actually make sure that you avoid these 3 mistakes. By the way, a lot more information just like this is available on our Instagram page where you can connect with me personally as well. So make sure that you are following us over there. Now, let's say that you are in the fix, you don't really know which universities to select, you don't really know which universities would fit your budget, etc., etc. In that case, of course, you can actually go onto YMGrad.com. You can actually select that, okay, this is the tuition fee I can pay per annum, this is the living expenses, I want it in the so-and-so countries, and then you can select the perfect universities for you. Make sure that you're signed up, because if you're signed up and you mentioned MBA during your sign up, we will cater those universities and we'll basically show you B schools. All right. Now, let's actually talk about the biggest mistakes on those drafts. Let's say that you are going ahead, you're applying to Harvard and you are writing your essays. Of course, by the way, September 7th is the deadline for round 1. So you should be doing that right now, max to max, if you haven't already, that is. The first mistake that you would realize people make on a daily basis is that they would select 5 to 10 schools that they want to apply to. They would write one essay and then they would try to customize it. They would try to change it based on the university. All right. That works very well for programs in engineering, healthcare, even, bachelor's, whatever programs you're going for, apart from MBAs though. MBAs have to write their essays from scratch. Let me actually tell you why. All MBA programs are very unique in their own way. If you actually look at the curriculum of most MBA programs, you'll find out that almost everyone's doing their own thing, and hence no 2 programs are taught in the exact same manner. Moreover, every school that you apply to will have different essay prompts. Some of them would be so different that you can't even use any part of your essay from the last schools in that essay. So there's certainly room for rewriting complete essays. But one thing is for sure, almost every B school will either directly ask or indirectly expect that you tell them why you are interested in that particular school. But then again, you cannot actually answer this question without knowing the differences, right? There are differences in the program, the curriculum, and how they are being taught. Hence, customizing the MBA essays will not work. You have to actually write from scratch. You have to do your research. You have to understand exactly why you're going for this program and exactly how this program will help you achieve your goals. So exactly how University ABC's program will help you achieve goals XYZ. That's something that you need to make clear in your essay. And it's, whether they mention it directly or they don't, you have to have this part in there. So again, like I said, even though this part is common, you still have to understand how the programs are different and how they will help you in a different manner, basically altogether. And you have to actually point out those differences, those subtleties, that right, this is exactly why I'm looking for this program. This subtlety over here in this program will actually help me achieve XYZ. And this is why I want to go to this university. So as long as you're able to do that, you're already halfway across. Of course, if you talk about mistake number 2, that is basically about conciseness, basically being terse, mentioning your whole story in a concise manner, in a few words, basically. Because if you can't do it in a few words, trust me, you are blowing out of proportions on your applications, on your essays. You actually have to make sure that you don't utilize the overall word limit. It's not there to be utilized. That's a big thing to realize. Most people, they think that, okay, the word limit is 900 words, so I'll write somewhere around 895, 899. That's not how it has to be. In fact, the most success that we have seen with applicants is wherein we could tell their story in the minimum amount of words required. Even if, the word limit is 900 words and we could do it in 600, that's good enough. You don't have to add irrelevant content in there, because if you're doing that, trust me, even 900 words is not going to be enough. On top of that, a lot of times what students do is they would, like I said, they would not exactly write from scratch. They would customize their essays, and what they end up with is basically something that does not actually answer the exact prompt. And there is all kinds of irrelevant information in the essay. Something that is not even asked is probably present in there, and that's why they're not able to fit it in that 900 word limit. And because of that, sometimes what they do is they remove the important information that was answering the question, and what they do is they keep the information that they liked from one of the previous schools that, okay, this information, of course, I've written it so creatively, it's so well written, etc., etc. But again, as long as you're not answering the question, you cannot stay on the point. That is something that the admissions committee for most B schools will not like, and you have to realize that. Hence, do not force information that is not really required in your essay. And of course, like I said, conciseness is valued. Finally, the third biggest mistake that I've seen people make, even with brilliant profiles, they wait too long. Hence, what they do is they apply in the later rounds, not round 1, then they go for round 2, and sometimes they end up with round 3. They really don't set concrete deadlines for themselves, I would say. You have to make sure that if September 7th is the deadline for Harvard, right, or September 13th is the deadline for GSB Stanford, you have to make sure that your application is ready by 5th of September anyhow for both of these schools, and you have to send it in, right? So set deadlines, make sure you have a couple of buffers, right? And with that, of course, you will be able to actually realize that you are making it on time, of course, and you're getting the advantages of round 1, round 2. In most cases, round 1 advantages, you want to know what they are. Number 1, you can get on-campus housing because you get an earlier decision, right? Number 2, you get better scholarships, better funding opportunities since there are lesser applicants when you're being selected. And finally, of course, not to mention better admits as well. You actually have more chances of admission as well because there's lesser competition in round 1 as compared to something like round 3 where half of the seats, actually more than half, are already allotted, and people are now either relinquishing their seats and then you're getting them, so you're on the wait list, etc., etc. That's not really a good place to be. But this is not to say that round 2 is bad either. So please make sure that if you've missed round 1 or you're about to miss round 1, don't push it to round 3 or next year. You know, it's completely fine even if you're submitting it in round 2. And let's say round 2 is also gone. It's still okay to submit it in round 3. But right now, if you're watching this video, probably at the moment where, you know, on the day when it's being shot or maybe a week after that also, you're still within that round 1 time frame. Hence, don't forgo that. That's all I'm saying over here. All right. Of course, if you need help with your essays, we can actually help you with that. You can actually take a look at the YMGrad services page where Ivy League graduates will directly be working on your essays so that you can also get into one of the topmost schools. Of course, you can take a look at some of these services. Complete application help would cover everything, right from helping you with essays, interviews, and even, you know, preparing you for giving you scripts for the actual interviews, right? Actually, a lot more. Not just that, scholarships of about 10 times the amount that you spend with us in most cases, right? And of course, there's also the essay drafting service or the statement of purpose drafting service. You can go for that one as well, but for B school applicants, the CAH plan is generally much better, I would say. All right, anyway, make sure that you check out the link in the description, and of course my number is also going to be there just in case you'd like to get in touch. And thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you do not make these 3 mistakes and that your applications are stellar and you get the most amazing admissions. Thank you so much for watching this video. Goodbye and take care until next time.